Alright guys, if you've been following the channel, you know that I launched my second product this week, and I'm launching it with PPC only. So I'm going to show you guys how I carried out the keyword data research for this campaign and then how I set it up in Amazon. This video was also requested by a subscriber called Christian in the video that I did Monday. So guys, if you've got any ideas for videos that you want me to cover, pop them in the comments below, because I'll do my best to do videos that offer value to all of you guys. So PPC, now my first product, if you go back to videos from kind of September time, I launched that using an automatic campaign. Now, automatic campaigns are great and they give you a very easy entry point into the PPC world. The issue with automatic PPC is that Amazon is very good at spending your budget and it isn't always spending it efficiently. So when I analysed my launch from September, based on the information and knowledge that I've acquired over the last few months, I realised that my launch in September could have been much more effective if I would have done a manual campaign. The other thing that pushed me towards automatic campaigns previously is in the past they were the only way of getting your listing to appear on other products. So you could target other products, get your advert on other products. Whereas recently Amazon have introduced a feature that allows you to manually target other product listings. So that's why I wanted to do a manual PPC campaign for this launch, targeting both keywords and other products. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you with a real world example product, not my own product of course, but I'm going to show you one, then I'm going to show you how I got the keyword data, and then how I created both the keyword campaign and the product targeting campaign. So the first thing, let's take a product. Now I'm going to put in there wooden chopping boards, and the reason I'm putting wooden chopping boards in there is this is a product I tracked previously, decided not to go for it, but I know it's a reasonable product, so guys, if you see an opportunity there, you're welcome to take it. So wooden chopping boards. So once you know the product you're going to be selling, the next thing you need is keyword data. Now the software I use for keyword data is called Helium 10. The reason I'm using it is because you get 2 free searches per day, so you can get enough data to launch your product without actually having to pay for a monthly subscription. Now Helium 10's got a number of other tools that I use, and I'm going to probably do a video in future actually covering the full suite of Helium 10 tools, because I've been using it more and more as my Amazon journey has kind of progressed. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to use one of the Helium 10 tools called Magnet. Now what that allows you to do is put in a keyword, and then it will do its best to provide a long list of relevant keywords that you can then use to see the volume and the traffic for those keywords to form a list of keywords for your manual PPC campaign. So let's go into Magnet. The good thing with this as well is it supports different marketplaces, whereas some of the other ones I've tried have only got real data for .com and not for .co.uk. So we go to Magnet, we choose amazon.co.uk, and then we put in the same keywords, wooden chopping. I'm typing one hand because I've got a big fat microphone in the other hand. Wooden chopping boards. There we go. And then that will do the search as you'd expect, and hopefully return a good list of keywords that we can then download and sort in Excel or similar. Oh, I should have turned my email off before this. So there we go. So, okay, so Magnet's done its job, and then the first thing I'm going to do is at the top there, I'm going to hit the export button, and I'm going to download an Excel file, and we'll open that up, and this will bring it up into Excel, and I'll make that full screen. So the first thing you want to do once you get into Excel is go onto the search volume column and sort that by largest to smallest. Now straight away you will see all these keywords on the left hand side sorted by the amount of volume that you get. Now for a launch campaign, the key thing you're trying to achieve is sales velocity. So at this point in time, I'm not worried too much about ACOS, and I'm not worried too much about trying to find lots of fancy long tail keywords. What I'm trying to find is between 5 and 10 keywords that are going to allow me to generate enough volume of traffic and sales to get the sales velocity needed over the period of kind of 7 to 10 days to hopefully get ranked on that first page. So as you'd expect, the number 1 keyword is chopping board, and then there's chopping board sets, wooden chopping boards, indoor areas, I don't know where that's come from, butcher's block, wooden chopping board, etc. So if you're selling wooden chopping boards, what you want to do is make sure you're picking the most relevant. So if you're selling a single wooden chopping board, you wouldn't put in there chopping board set, because set means it's not relevant, and we want the most relevant high volume keywords for this launch campaign. So even chopping board, you might decide, you know, actually that is going to use up so much of my campaign, it might be too strong of a keyword for a launch campaign. So I would definitely take wooden chopping boards. I might look at butcher's block as well, because they are normally big fat wooden chopping boards. So if I was selling a big fat wooden chopping board, then that would be well. If I was selling a skinny one, I probably wouldn't use that. Wooden chopping board, wooden board. So there's at least 4 keywords, and you go down the list and just make sure they've got good volume. You know, anywhere 300 to 500 searches volume upwards. That means if it's 300 volume, then that's 10 searches per day. So try and think how much volume you can get out of those 5 to 10 keywords, but don't spread don't spread it too thin. Don't put in there 15, 20, 30 keywords, because you won't get the data back you need to see if those keywords are actually working for you. So that's the first way I get my keywords. So if there's 3 or 4 there that I'd definitely take. The next thing I would do is a reverse ASIN lookup, which is I would take one of the leading competitors, I would put their ASIN into Helium 10, which I shall do now. So let's go and take the top organic seller, who is this one here, Premium Organic Chopping Board. Let's click on there. Actually, their ASIN's there. I could have grabbed it there, but I've already clicked it now. So we'll go and grab their ASIN. We'll cut that. We'll go back into Helium 10, and we will go to, this time we want to do Cerebro, which is the reverse ASIN lookup, and that will give you similar data based on the ASIN you entered. So we go to .co.uk again, paste in the ASIN, and then get keywords. Then what this should do is give us another list that we can then export, and it might give you fresh ideas that you hadn't considered, or that hadn't been produced in that original list that you created. So we're going to export this again to Excel. There we are, grid export 1, and as we did with the first list, the first thing to do is sort largest to smallest. You can see there chopping board again has come up first, wooden chopping board wooden. I didn't see that in the last one, so chopping board wooden might be good. If you've got a bamboo chopping board, not necessarily say bamboo tray, but if there's one here to do with bamboo, you might want to include that as well. A large wooden chopping board. So it shows these 2 methods gives you lots of keyword idea that should produce enough volume to get the sales velocity you need from your launch campaign. So once you've got your keywords, like I say, between 5 and 10, I wouldn't say any more than that, because if you're targeting too many keywords, you're going to blow your budget out, and you might get 1 or 2 clicks per keyword, and then you get no real usable data. If you're spending your £30 to £50 a day budget on 5 to 10 keywords, within a few days you're going to start to get data that's really useful, and you can start fine-tuning your campaign a lot earlier than if you're targeting 20, 30, 40 keywords. So now imagine you've got that data. The next thing you want to do is you want to go to Amazon and start creating your keyword campaign. So what we do is we go to Amazon, we go to Advertising, Campaign Manager, and then we want to create a campaign. And then when you create your campaign, it will give you 2 options. Do you want sponsored products, which you do. You don't want sponsored brands. That you've probably seen it on certain listings. I don't know if we'll see it here. If you put in chopping board, sometimes you'll see the whole top. There we go, someone there. So Worktop Express has got this whole top area. But I think a lot of people get a kind of what I call banner blindness with this. I'm so used to seeing banner adverts in that position, they don't even see this anymore. So I don't run those adverts. So I run create a sponsored product listing. And this is where you can choose between auto, manual and stuff like that. So you name your campaign. If you've got a portfolio, it basically means your category. So if you've got different products, you might want to group your campaigns into portfolios, start and end date and a daily budget, and then you choose automatic or manual. So if you just want to get a PPC campaign going and don't have much knowledge, start with an auto, and then you can refine that over time. If hopefully as you watch through this video you'll be able to launch your own manual targeting campaign, click that. Next thing we need to do is put in an ad group name. This can be anything you want. I normally just call it the same name as my product. And then you add in the product that you want to be in that campaign. And then when we come down a bit further, I always choose fixed bids because I like complete control over my bidding. I don't trust Amazon to do it for me, so I want fixed bids, and I normally make my default bid £1, just based on my experience. I'd make it £1 my default bid, but you can tweak that on a keyword basis. And then this is where you can create your 2 campaigns. So the first campaign we want to create is the keyword targeting campaign, and then ignore all of the suggestions, and then just enter the keywords, and also put them on exact as well. So those keywords that you know from looking at the data you've got from Helium 10, put those 5 to 10 keywords in there as exact matches, and then you know when you start to get the data in a few days time that is exactly what your product is being found for, and you can see whether it's converting or not, and then you can adjust your campaign accordingly. Now I'm not going to go too much into optimization in this video because it's a video in itself, but the best way to think about it is look at your campaign after a couple of days and see if any particular word is either converting really well in which case you might want to up the bid a little bit to make sure you're capturing all of that traffic, or you might find a particular keyword is dominating all of your budget. So if you've got one very high volume keyword, it could be using 70 to 80% of your budget, in which case throttle back the bid on that to give the other keywords a chance to kind of see if they convert well as well. But yeah, optimization we'll do in a more in-depth video at another time. So you put all your keywords in there, and then you click launch campaign, and that is it really. So you get your data from Helium 10, you find your best, most relevant keywords that can provide good volume, you create the campaign with a default bid. Now when you put in a keyword, so if I put in this one here, chopping board, let's see, if we put chopping board and then put add keywords, when we scroll down, Amazon will usually give you a suggested bid. They haven't this time, for some reason this time, but they usually give you a suggested bid, and my advice would be ignore it. The campaigns I've launched, the suggested bid has been so far away, and I speak to quite a lot of people who come to me and say, I've launched a campaign but I'm not getting any impressions on the adverts, and usually it's because they're bidding the suggested bid. Now to give you an example, my top keyword from the campaign I launched yesterday, the suggested bid was 29p. It's cost me £1.20 to get onto the front page. So the suggested bid, just completely ignore it and play it by ear. Now the best way to do it, I start the bidding at £1. Then what I do, once the campaign has been live for at least an hour to give the chance for the auto update, I then go in with a clear cache, so either in your private tab mode or clear your browser cache. Then I search for my product, and then I see what page I'm on. Now if I'm on page 1, great, I might reduce the bid a little bit. If I'm on page 5, I'm going to up the bid, and then I repeat the process, save it, wait an hour, and keep going. And that's the only way. If you can't find your product in the search results, you're not bidding high enough. So make sure you keep upping that bid 10p at a time until you find that you're on the page you want to be on. You don't necessarily have to be on page 1. Sometimes there's enough volume on page 2 as well. But play around with that. Ignore the suggested bid and expect to be paying upwards of £1 when you launch this campaign. Then it might come down as your product becomes more established, but in the early days your PPC costs will be quite high. Now that's it for launching a keyword campaign. The next feature is the product targeting, and this is really useful because there's normally very similar products to your own on Amazon. The people that you've highlighted already, the ones that you've read their negative reviews, you know that these products have got issues, and you've probably hopefully solved them with the product you've launched. So what you can do is you can take the ASINs of those products and say, right, I want to advertise on that product. So for example, this top seller here, we've already taken the ASIN for. If you go onto that product, you will see they've got sponsored products below this. So if you scroll down on Amazon, once it's finished loading, there we go, so sponsored products. So you can decide to target this. So what I've done, I think I'm targeting 7 or 8 products that I think my product is better than, similarly priced to, and if someone saw my listing in direct comparison would think my product is better. So you would do this, you'd go through the top 5, top 10 sellers on Amazon and choose which ones you think that your product is better than, and then you'd come through here and you would choose individual products, and then again ignore all of the suggestions, enter your list, you'd paste in your ASIN, you target the ASIN just as you would a product, and then go down and again ignore the suggested bid, start at £1, and then see after an hour whether you're starting to appear in this list. One thing to be wary of is there are 2 lists, so you've got this top one here and a second one down there. Now at the moment my one keeps appearing in the second one and not in the top one, so I don't know if that's to do whether Amazon are using the top one for automatic campaigns and the bottom one for manual campaigns, or if it's just pure fluke, I don't know. But make sure you check both lists to see if your product appears, because it might only be in one of them. And you don't have to be first in this one either, because you might be able to see 3 or 4 or 5 depending on your screen resolution, what device you're looking at. Just play about. I think I'm second for the products that I'm targeting, which is more than enough, and I've already had sales from that in less than 24 hours from targeting other products. So that's it guys, that's how you create 2 campaigns, target products, target keywords, get the data you need from Helium 10, ignore the suggested bid, run the campaigns, check them every day. I check mine every day. Check them every day. Make sure there's not a keyword eating up all of the budget. Make sure if there's a keyword that's converting really well that you increase the budget. You know, if I've got a keyword converting at between 10 and 20% in the launch period, I'm going to up that bid because I want to dominate that page, because I'm going to be able to get as many sales as possible from that. And remember, don't go after too many keywords because you won't get enough data unless you've got a massive budget to work with. So hopefully you found that useful. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to know, love to hear from anyone that's done PPC on Amazon and what kind of results they've had. Also, let me know if you've got any suggestions for future videos, and I'll see what I can do. I'm trying to put out more videos because I mentioned in one of the comments, I'm trying to wind down my web design business at the moment, which is freeing up more time for FBA and YouTube. So hopefully as we move into February and March, I'll be able to put out kind of 2 or 3 videos a week rather than the 1 video that I have been doing. And of course, as always, any questions you can email me, darrenlynchfba@gmail.com, and make sure you hit that thumbs up button.